This video is being recorded at 10:29 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday, August 18th. So I want to share just one trade that I took today. This is on $JPY. I took a buy just this afternoon at around 5 o'clock p.m. my time. So this was shortly after the Asian session opened. Right now it's towards the end of the Asian session. So I've already exited this trade. I exited about 2 hours after I entered with 5 pips of gain, which would equate to about 0.1% of increase in the account. I would consider this a break-even trade just because there's not much profits on it. So let me walk you through how I took this trade here. So this is the USDJPY chart. Let me start from the daily time frame to give you the higher perspective. So the daily time frame right now is flat. It has been making higher lows, and it broke the previous doji high at 135.57. So this was the breakout level I was interested to trade. So looking at the 4-hour chart, it's actually been trending for the last several days. So it did break out in this morning's New York session. I think the US dollar was quite strong at the New York Open today. A lot of pairs like USDJPY and Euro USD were moving. So in the case of USDJPY, it broke at the 6 a.m. 4-hour candle that closed at 10 a.m. And then for the last candle in the New York session, it was also bullish. So I was expecting it to continue breaking out in the Asian session. A lot of the European dollar denominated currencies can be quiet in the Asian session, but since this is a JPY pair, it can usually be quite active. So yeah, I took it on this candle, I think, in the 4-hour chart. It was trending upwards with all the Ichimoku lines indicating a positive bullish trend. So here you can see what happened on the 1-hour chart. So yeah, the market did go slow down towards the end of the New York session and into the Sydney Open. This is very unusual how the price almost doesn't move for many hours consecutively here. And you can see these are even very small body candles with no wicks almost, showing the market is almost not trading. And that's because I think there was some news at 4:30 today. There was a Tokyo CPI news being posted at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. I don't remember how the news turned out, but this, I think I'll show you on the 5-minute chart how the news happened. So 4:30 was here exactly. And after the news came out, about 10 minutes later, the market started selling off a little bit. So I thought it would, maybe retrace to the previous high. But actually it recovered quite quickly. The buyers decided to come in and start buying at 4:55 p.m. And then I had set my alert to just be above these 5-minute candles here. So it triggered on the next 5-minute bar close, which was the 5 p.m. candle. And so I took my entry on the very next candle. I think I spent maybe 2 or 3 minutes just opening up the chart and analyzing the situation. I took this trade while I was away from my computer, so I took it purely on mobile. So yeah, it looked to me like it was a very big-bodied bullish candle on the 5-minute chart. It engulfed, all these small range bound candles since 10 a.m. New York time. So I expected the price to move up continuously. I was trading purely based off price action, not so much any indicators on the 5-minute time frame. So yeah, I took this trade. My entry was exactly at 136.094. Actually, I entered two separate positions, but I just recorded the highest position. The other one was, I think, just maybe a 6 or 4 pip difference below it. But anyway, I'll consider my entry right here. So the price continued to go up. I think this was maybe 20 pips, 30 pips up until the peak. And then it started to consolidate. So I saw this first bounce here. And this was just above these two pin bar candles. So it's quite hard to tell where the support is on the initial impulse. So even the market doesn't know. It's just searching for a bottom. And then there were enough buyers to come in and defend the price point of these two pin bars right here. So it ended up going up here. And this was when I moved my stop loss from originally the 135.64 level all the way up to this newly formed low. I thought this low here would probably hold. I gave it a few more pips underneath in case there was a lower check by the sellers, and that did end up happening at 6:15. It posted almost a newer low, but the buyers were able to recover. So at this point, I thought maybe this was the low formed in the 5-minute chart before the next breakout, but that ended up not to happen, and the price went down and broke through my stop loss at 1905. So that'd be, yeah, 707 I think was when I exited this trade. So yeah, I got 5 pips out of this one. If you measure the distance, 5 pips here, and then my stop loss was 45 pips from my entry. So yeah, I was wondering if I may have moved my stop loss a little bit too fast, since I did not see the breakout yet to confirm if this was indeed the true low. But I didn't have my entire computer to be able to do detailed chart analysis with me at the time. So I just set this quickly to preserve, eliminate any risk from this trade. So once I place this, I don't risk anything anymore. And in the end, I think it can go either way, but I think I made the okay decision, because I am trading in the context of a challenge. So not losing is more important than it ordinarily would be to me. If I took this trade without a challenge, I may watch it run a little bit more, but I also have the experience that it could retrace further, and by the time I want to exit, I would be exiting with a loss instead of a slight profit. Yeah, because the price could easily zigzag all the way down to here, the previous breakout level, and then it could chop sideways for several hours before, maybe even breaking past my initial stop loss at the London Open. And then just to mess with you, maybe the market could go back up, but we never know. So I chose to just exit at the first opportunity. And looking at the market currently, it's still trading sideways, so I don't feel like I lost anything. In fact, from the current price point, it's only 10 pips from where I exited, and it may not even continue to break out continuously. So yeah, I'm interested to see how the dollar will react in the beginning of the London session. Maybe it'll break out again. There should be no significant resistance for USDJPY for a while. Yeah, the sellers in this market had a chance to sell in force at this previous high here, but it looked like it wasn't able to do that, so it broke up. But we haven't cleared all the resistances yet. Maybe it'll get resisted here again at 136.7, and then I could go down. But my initial profit target was all the way at the previous high. So even if it doesn't break out on the daily level, at least I would have had like almost 200, 300 pips to trade until the previous high here. But yeah, on the daily time frame, it is still inside the cloud, so it could be volatile in here. In fact, it could potentially like retrace to the Tenkan Sen that's within the cloud and then go up again to break out. So it may not happen by this week's market close. So we'll see. There's just one more trading day left, the London and the New York session on Friday. And I'll just show Euro USD as well. This was another strongly trending pair because of the weak euro. The move also happened during the New York session, so it started happening at 6 p.m. I'll show the 1 hour chart. Yeah, I had a pretty big breakthrough through all these previous lows, and now it's just trading sideways a little bit. Looking at the daily chart, it should be clear to go down to the previous low at 0.9952, and then it could take some time to break through that. But otherwise, yeah, it has broken the trend line, counter trend line for the last several weeks here. So yeah, this one that I drew, it's broken through that, which is part of the large triangle range it has been selling down through in the weekly time frame. So yeah, this is also another good pair to watch if you're looking to capitalize on dollar strength. And let's look at the currency strength chart to compare all of these. So dollar, this was the dip in the afternoon that got me out of my USDJPY trade and then went back up. So sometimes it's helpful to look at this currency strength chart tool to see which one of the two currencies is responsible for the moves in the market. So yeah, even though JPY was weak as well, it's still weaker than the dollar. And let's look at the euro. The euro is almost trading flat, only within a 10 pip range for today. So yeah, right now my account is up almost 1%, so I'll consider that break even too. I'm just looking for one of the big moves to see if that'll happen this week or maybe next week if not.